Assalamualaikum and welcome to Unique Tech News. I'm Musa Saleh.
And I'm Alia Akila.
Today's headline is Environmental Pollutants and Occupational Toxicology. On November 4, 2018, mink population in Hudson River, United States of America declining because of contaminated with polychlorinated biphenyl or PCB. The PCB impact of Hudson River mink issue was reported by Daily Gazette.
The cause of the contamination are from General Electric's past practice of dumping the chemicals into the river. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service said the mink are exposed to high levels of PCBs because of their diet of fish and because they live in the river. Our team Elena will talk more about polychlorinated biphenyl or PCB.
Thank you Alia and Musa. And now, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone. My name is Elina binti Muhammad Nizam and now I'm going to talk about polychlorinated biphenyls. What is polychlorinated biphenyls? It is contained in electrical appliances and house paint. What about house paint and how it enters in our environment? The house paint will be washed away by rain. And by rain, what I mean is when it's washed away by rain, it can enter the water system, and by that in the water system it will bind with the sediment and the animal tissue in it. The animal tissue that I mentioned before is about the fish in it. About the fish that have been said before, it's about the fish that contaminated by the PCB. The PCB will contaminate the fish and the consumer eat the fish. What happens? It can cause them to have cancer. And then what type of cancer? Liver cancer, heart cancer, and anything that can harm their body. And that's all from me. Thank you. And back to Musa and Ala in the studio.
Thank you, Elena. In Michigan, United States of America, a researcher finds there could be more health effects lingering decades after a toxic contamination of Michigan food supply. In 1973, a food supplier by Vesicle Chemical made a mistake which a toxic flame-retardant chemical known as polybrominated biphenyl or PBB was mixed with livestock feed plant. It took about a year to discover the accident and millions of people had contamination beef, chicken, pork, meat and eggs.
Some women with high exposure to PBB chemical had fewer days between menstrual periods, more days of bleeding, and lower estrogen levels. However, there was no evidence that these women had reduced fertility. Our team Aiza will talk more about PBB chemical.
Thank you Alia and Musa. I'm Aiza from the Unique Tech News. Today I'm standing in front of the TNB because we are here to talk about one of the substances that we can find in our electrical appliances, which is polybrominated biphenyl, or the short version is PBB. So the main function of PBB is as a flame retardant, which can make any product very difficult to burn. So PBB mainly spread through the air, but it can be found in water and soil. If we ingest the water contaminated with PBB, it can spread to our systemic circulation by our stomach. And if we touch the soil contaminated with PBB, it can spread from our skin to our systemic circulation. One of the adverse effects that it can affect human is nausea, loss of weight, abdominal pain, fatigue, and joint pain. So overexposed to PBB can possibly lead to cancer. Thank you. Back to Alia and Musa.
Thank you, Aiza. The Seveso of Forest Park in northern Italy looks like any other park with lush greenery and babbling brooks. But 40 years ago, it sits above the remnants of one of the largest environmental disasters in European history. The Royal Society of Chemistry reported that 1 kilo of white vapor escaped from the plant along with tons of other chemicals and spread over the surrounding countryside.
The white vapor was 2378 tetrachlorodibenzopidioxine or TCDD, commonly known as dioxin. Just under a month after the accident, nearly 500 people were suffering from chloroacne, a debilitating condition where the skin breaks out into hundreds of pustules and lesions. Our team Ella will talk more about TCDD chemical.
Thank you, Alia and Musa. Assalamualaikum and very good morning. I'm Ella from UNIKL Tech News. Okay, we have been informed from the citizen around this area that this factory produce combustion of fossil fuel and woods that can lead to release of toxics such as 2378 tetrachlorodibenzopidioxine, also known as dioxin, into our environment. So this factory also produce industrial waste such as hazardous waste that can lead to release of this dioxin also. So this dioxin can contribute to water and soil pollution because due to industrial waste that wash out from this drain. This dioxin is extremely toxic to our environment and also give many health effects to human beings such as skin rashes, liver toxicity, vomiting, weight loss and also cancer. So the management of this factory need to take care and also manage the waste from this factory and also avoid the combustion of fossil fuel and woods. Thank you. That's all from me. Back to Alia and Musa.
Thank you, Ella. The occupational environmental toxicologist is primarily concerned with adverse effects in humans resulting from exposure to chemicals encountered at work or in the general environment.
In clinical practice, the occupational environmental toxicologist must identify and treat the adverse health effects of these exposures. In addition, the trained occupational environmental toxicologist will be called upon to assess and identify hazards associated with the chemical used in the workplace or introduced into the human environment.
Well, that's all for our news headline for today. Before we end, we would like to show an interview session among the students regarding the knowledge of chemicals that cause the environmental issue.
Our team Aksha and Shafika interviewed a student from University Kuala Lumpur Institute of Medical Science and Technology Kazam. Thank you and stay tuned for our next headlines. I'm Ali Akila.
And I'm Musa Saleh.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shafika and I would like to ask this guy, okay, Arif, do you know that plastic products it contain harmful substances to human body?
Yes, I know the plastic contain the PCB, which causes a damage to liver damage, and it's also can be classified as a potential human carcinogen.
Alright, thank you. Okay.
How do you think we as a human being can do to prevent the use of this chemical?
For me, in my opinion, we have to shut down and we have to prevent the toxic from be split into the nature like river, forest and all other things that can affect our life.
You mean to control the...
To control the what you call? Yes, the disease from the toxic and stuff.
Okay, alright. I think